بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. أما بعد، يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. ثم أما بعد. Alhamdulillah, we continue going over the tremendous book by the Fadilat al-Shaykh Al-Allama Imam bin Baz rahimahullah ta'ala, the book which is entitled Durus al-Muhimma li'amat al-Ummah, the book that is entitled Important Lessons for the general Muslim or the general masses of the Muslims and the like. We are on the chapter which is dealing with the conditions for La ilaha illallah. And like all of these lessons that are here, these are vital lessons that the Muslims, they have to know about and they have to be informed of, because we need them. Before getting into a slight review by mentioning those conditions that we had already covered, I just want to remind everyone who my voice runs across their ears that from the tools that will aid and assist the student, that will aid and that will assist those who are seeking to learn about a particular subject and or topic, is to memorize those important points and things which need to be committed to memory. And this is important that we memorize now, because when we memorize, it will help us to retain the knowledge, and memorizing that knowledge, it will be a means that will help us to understand. Memorization is not a goal, but rather memorization is a tool and a path by way in which will help us to understand. Because remember, the ultimate goal is to implement and to do. And as the poet, he mentioned as relates to memorizing, he mentions, إن لم تكن حافظا واعيا فجمعك للعلم لا ينفع. هل تحضر بجلوس بجهلك وعلمك في القطب المستودع. The poet he mentioned, he says, if you do not become one who preserves, yani they gather and they capture the knowledge by memorizing, if you don't become one who memorizes and you preserve and capture the knowledge by memorizing it, he said, then your collection of knowledge, your collecting of knowledge will not benefit you. Naam. فَجَمْعُكَ لِلْعِلْمِ لَا يَنْفَعُ. Then your collection of knowledge, collecting of knowledge, it will not benefit you. Right? And just with slight commentary notes upon this, it's clear why it will not benefit, because it will be easily forgotten. Now, the information will be easily forgotten. If you don't memorize it, if you don't review it, and so on and so forth, it will leave you easily. It will leave you easily. It will leave you to the point where it would have been as if you never knew it. If you don't memorize it and go over it and review and so on and so forth. نعم. فَجَمْعُكَ لِلْعِلْمِ لَا يَنْفَعُ. And then he mentions أَتَحْضُرُ بِمَجْلِسِ بِجَهْلِكَ. He says, will you present yourself inside of the gathering with your ignorance? وَعِلْمُكَ فِي الْقُطُبِ الْمُسْتَوْدَعُ. But your knowledge is in books, safely protected and guarded in books somewhere. نعم. بِلَا شَكُّ بِلَا رَيْبٍ. Coming to class with a pen or paper, or when you sit to listen to a lecture, to have a pen and a paper so you can jot down some benefits is good. Or if the person from this newer generation, the millennial generation, if they prefer to write it in their tablets or on the in the phone, on the memo app and so on and so forth, alhamdulillah, this is good. There are many ways you can jot it down, right? You have some brothers who from generation X who prefer to write it on the computer, right? They bring their laptop and they like to type it. I mean, that's fine. Each to each his own, right? And then you have others, who like pen and paper. But whatever the case is, that helps and that is a benefit, no doubt, right? But if you don't go over what is in your notes and commit to memory those points, you're going to forget them. And in order to retrieve them, what do you have to do? You have to go to your notes. You have to open that memo pad, or you have to go to your tablet, or you have to open that laptop, right? To get the information. Whereas if you memorize it, then it's with you. Naam. As Imam al-Shafi'i, he mentions about the importance of memory in the lines of poetry where he said, "Ilmi ma'i, haythu ma tawajjahtu yanfa'uni." He said, my knowledge is with me. No matter where I turn, it benefits me. Now, my knowledge is with me. No matter where I turn, it benefits me. Why? Because his heart was the vessel that contained it. Now, his heart was the vessel that contained it. So in any event, I'm saying that to say this is that, alhamdulillah, the ulama, due to their great concern and love for the Muslims and that the Muslims benefit, they have taken these conditions of La ilaha illallah and they put them into 2 lines of poetry. 2 lines of poetry that are very easy lines of poetry. And it gets straight to the point. And it contains therein the 8 conditions for La ilaha illallah. So a person were to memorize these lines of poetry, this would be a great start, because then they will have the information with them. Now, and these lines of poetry, they are ilmun, yaqeenun, wa ikhlasun, wa sidquka ma'a, mahabbatan, wal qiyadan, wal qubulu laha, وزيد ثامنها الكفران منك بما سوى الإله من الأشياء قد أُلِّهَا. 2 lines of poetry, right? Whereas knowledge, what translated it means, knowledge, certainty, sincerity, and your truthfulness coupled with love, compliance, and acceptance for it. And the 8th is added, which is a disbelief that emanates from you for that which is other than Allah from the things in which people have taken to worship. Now, what's something like this? The translation, I may use slightly different wording all the time, but muhim, the meaning is muhim. But what's better? What? You get it in Arabic. That's better. Ilmun, yaqeenun, wa khalasun, wa sidqu qama'an, to the end of it. Right? So, thus far we have covered ilm. We have covered the first one, which is knowledge. Right? And I'm not going to get a lot into each one. I'm just going to mention them because we want to cover as much as we can tonight. Bidnillahi ta'ala. The second one that we took was al-yaqeen, certainty. The third one in which we had took it was al-ikhlas, sincerity. And the fourth one in which we had taken, then it was al-sidq, truthfulness. So bidnillahi ta'ala, we're halfway through, right? So we're going to start with the fifth one tonight, and that is al-khamis min shurutiha al-mahabba, is love. Al-munafiya lil-bughd, love which negates hatred. Love which negates hatred. Now, as a quiz, so you can quiz yourself, right? A pop quiz that you quiz yourself with after, is that, remember, it was mentioned each negating its opposite, right? Each negating its opposite. When we went over the review just now, I just mentioned what the condition was. I didn't mention the negation of its opposite. So as a quiz, that you give to yourself, inshallah ta'ala, self, what do you say? What do you say in English? A self assessment. As a self-assessment, assess yourself by saying what it is and then bringing the opposite. For example, knowledge which negates ignorance. Do that for all of the four that was mentioned that I didn't say. Right? I gave you one, so I got three to add. Alhamdulillah. So this one is what? Is mahabba al-munafiya lil-bughd. It is love that negates hatred. Right? It is love that negates hatred. The Fadilat al-Shaykh, Shaykh Abdul Razak bin Shaykh Abdul Muhsin al-Badr, hafidhahumullah ta'ala, he mentions, he says, بأن يحب قائلها الله عز وجل, that the one who says it, he has to love Allah Azza wa Jal. Na'am. The one who says La ilaha illallah, bila shak wa bila rayb, he has to love the kalima. He has to love La ilaha illallah. Na'am. He has to love it. But so we understand that the individual, he loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a must. You have to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, you have to love the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, because if a person were to say La ilaha illallah, but yet he hated the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, would his statement of La ilaha illallah benefit him? No. Meaning what? Because remember, La ilaha illallah miftahul jannah. La ilaha illallah is the key for Jannah. ولكن لكل مفتاح أسنان. But every key has teeth. If you don't come with the teeth, the ridges of the key, then the key won't lock. It won't lock. It won't lock. It won't lock. It won't open, right? It won't work. So it won't open, right? It won't open. If it doesn't open, then your key don't work. Your key is faulty. It's not. So point is that if a person says La ilaha illallah, but they hate the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, could that person go to the Jannah? No. How? Right? So then we see that what? Even if a person believes in the meaning, a person, he is sincere when he said it, if he had knowledge of what it meant, he was certain about it, so on and so forth. But if he doesn't love it, if he hates it, it's not going to benefit him. If he hates Allah, it's not going to benefit him. If he hates the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's not going to benefit him. If he hates the deen of al-Islam, it's not going to benefit him. If a person doesn't enter into al-Islam, he doesn't love al-Islam, how's it going to benefit him? So now, keep this in mind now, right? So now, how much stock are we going to put into the Unitarian Christians? How much stock are we going to put into them? The person say, oh, but they don't believe Isa is Allah. But they don't believe Isa is the son of Allah. But what does that do for them? If they hate the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if they hate Allah's deen, if they hate Islam, what good is that going to do for them? Nothing. Right? Because the religion as with Allah is Islam. Inna dina inda Allah Islam. Verily the religion that is accepted by Allah is Islam. وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ. And whoever intends and whoever wants and desires other than Islam as a religion, it will never be accepted from him. So the fact that they claim that they are monotheists from the Christian denomination, it's not enough. It's not enough. Why? Because until they love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's not enough. It's not going to work for them, right? The Shaykh, he mentions what deen al-Islam, and they have to love Islam. It's a must. Why? Because the aforementioned ayah, whoever wants a religion other than Islam is never accepted from him. But now check this out. The person who does not follow the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then in reality they do not love Allah. The person who does not follow the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they do not love Allah. Even if they say they do, even if they claim they do, even if they keep repeating that they do, they can say it 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000,000 times. If they do not follow the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they do not love Allah. They don't love Allah. What's the proof? وَمَا الدَّلِيلُ? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in His noble book, قُلْ, say, you say unto them, O Muhammad, you say unto them, إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبُكُمُ اللَّهُ. Allah Ta'ala says what means, and you say to them, O Muhammad, that if you all truly indeed love Allah, then follow me, and Allah will love you. If you truly love Allah, if you say you love Allah, then follow me, and Allah will love you. This ayah can be found in Surah Ali Imran, in its verse 31. The ulama, they say that this ayah is the ayah of a test. This ayah is an ayah of a test. Meaning that what? That the test on whether or not a person truly loves Allah is whether or not they follow Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the issue. And if we are individuals who are concerned for Allah to love us, then we have to follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And of course, that means we have to believe in that which he came with. And at the head and at the top of that which he came with is what? Is the shahada of La ilaha illallah. So we have to love it. We have to love the religion. We have to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's all interconnected. It's all interconnected. And we have to have a concern for that, because the reality is that, as the ulama they mentioned, ليس الشأن أن تحب ولكن الشأن كل الشأن أن تحب. they said that the issue is not that you love, meaning the issue is not that you love Allah, because any person that has an ounce of sanity loves Allah, right? So that's not really the issue, that you love Allah, because that's a given. How could you not? You understand? So that's not really the issue. But the issue, all of the issue, the heart of the issue, and all of the issue is what? Is whether or not Allah loves you. That's the issue. That's the issue. Right? So if a person is concerned with Allah loving them, then they have to be concerned to what? To follow His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because following the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is an indication, an illustration of the truthfulness of a person's love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you truly love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and thus follow His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then Allah azza wa jal has informed us that this is how you earn His love. Allah Ta'ala says here in this ayah, what? قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبُكُمُ اللَّهُ. That say unto them, if you truly love Allah, then follow me, and Allah will love you. Then follow me and Allah will love you. Meaning follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we have to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to love the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to love the deen of al-Islam. And also what? We have to love wal-Muslimin. And we have to love the Muslims. Al-Qa'imeen bi-awamirillah. Al-Waqifin 'inda hudud. We have to love the Muslims, those who establish the commands of Allah, and those who stop and avoid the limits of Allah, meaning the prohibitions. They avoid them. Now, we understand from this that love is very conditional. Now, from the problems and hazards and dangers of living in kafir societies and in societies where the Islamic knowledge is little, is that they become common phrases that hold un-Islamic meanings and that are totally false. And from those common statements and phrases that one hears is this concept of unconditional love. People say all the time, we love you unconditionally, and so on and so forth. Now, that's not an Islamic love, because the love is conditional. Because we love for whose sake? Allah's sake. Right? We love for Allah's sake. When you tell a person that you love them, right? Those who are religious in their thinking and their mentality and so on and so forth, they'll say, أُحِبُّكَ فِي اللَّهِ. Now, they say, we love you for Allah. And what do we learn from the deen is the response? أَحَبَّكَ الَّذِي أَحْبَبْتَنِي فِيهِ أَوْ لَهُ. And may the one for whose sake you love me for love you too. Because we love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Naam. So our love is conditional based upon an individual's compliance and submission to Allah's deen. So the more righteous they are, the more we love them, the more love we have for them. Right? And this is why when it comes to human beings, this is why when it comes to the creation, who do we love more than everything else from created things is who? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? Because he is the most fearing of Allah's slaves. He is the finest and the best of Allah's slaves. He is the most obedient of the slaves of Allah. So therefore we love him more than we love any other human being, including ourselves, our mothers, our children, our fathers, our kids and kin, so on and so forth. We love him more. Why? Because he's more obedient unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And because our love is conditional and based upon a person's adherence to the deen of Islam and a person's taqwa and so on and so forth, then we have to love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam more than we love every other created thing, including ourselves. Na'am. Because we love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for what? For the sake of Allah azza wa jal. Do you understand? The only one that we love, be that it. And I'm pausing because I don't know. I'm having trouble on how to word this in English. The only one we love because of him himself, right? The only one we love because of him himself is who? Is Allah. Allah Azza wa Jal is the only one we love. Yani in Arabic it says bidhatihi. Is the only one we love for him himself, or yani I don't know how to put that in English. Ma'adiratan. Right? But everything else that we love is linked to our love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we love that person for the sake of Allah azza wa jal. We love that creature for the sake of Allah azza wa jal. That makes sense? Huh? That makes sense? This is a concept that is very, very, very important. It's very important. Naam. Because loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is from the greatest of the categories of worship. It's a tremendous category of worship. Right? So it is incumbent, it is a must that our love is compliant to the deen of Islam. That our love is true, that we love in a correct manner. And that means that what? That we love the Muslims for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more righteous they are, the more we love them. Naam. And likewise our hatred. وَأَن يُبْغِضَ مَنْ خَالَفَ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. And we hate those who go against La ilaha illallah. And that's important to understand. The kuffar, our hatred for them, when we look at it, let's step back now. When we look at our love being conditional on a person's obedience unto Allah, right? A person's implementation of at-tawheed, of La ilaha illallah, right? When we look at it from this standpoint, how could we love a kafir? We can't. We can't. And when I mean love a kafir, I mean with this type of religious love. How can we love a kafir? It's not possible. It's not possible, right? And it's important that we understand the different types of love. Not to get into it, because this is not the main topic of discussion, talking about the different types of love. But we know we have a love that is tabi'i. We have a natural love, right? And that natural love is the love that one will have for their mother, for their father, for their sister, their brother, their grandmother, grandfather, so on and so forth. That natural love that a person naturally has for his or her family members. Okay? This type of love we are not punished for having it. We are not punished for having it, meaning for the kuffar. So if a person, his mother is a kafir, then it's not to say there's no love for her as well. No, he has the natural love for her because that's his mother. And naturally people love their mothers, right? However, it's important that that love stays where it's at. It's a natural love. It doesn't transcend beyond its scope. It doesn't transcend beyond its bounds. It doesn't go past beyond its limits. Meaning that the love, that natural love that we have for her, is not a justification to commit kufr and shirk because of her. It's not a justification now to go and buy her lotto because we say we love her. It's not a justification now to take her down to the church on Mother's Day and go with her to church on Mother's Day because we say we love our mother. No. Now your love, the natural love, has gone beyond its bounds, and now you're going to be held accountable for it. But the fact that you have love for your mother, you want good for her, and so on and so forth, nah, this is natural. You're supposed to be like that. Right? So, and I want people to understand this, because sometimes people they don't teach correctly, or they don't convey the knowledge correctly. So people walk away from the gathering thinking, well, this guy telling me I'm supposed to be a psychopath and a sociopath with my Kafir family. I'm not supposed to have any feelings for them, no empathy for them, no love for them, and this and that because they're kuffar. No one is saying that. You love them because you love them. But at the end of the day, what? You hate the actions that they're doing. And you hate them for doing those actions. Right? You hate them for making shirk. Because you hate the shirk and you hate the mushrik. So you hate them for that. So yeah, you love them naturally, but religiously you have hatred for them because they're going against La ilaha illallah, because they're making shirk, because they're praying to Isa, because they're praying to a statue. Any person sees a Catholic pray to a statue and you a Muslim and you love Tawheed, how you don't have hatred for that? Right? Any Muslim see the Hindu praying to them statues and those false deities, how you don't hate that? Of course you hate that, because you understand La ilaha illallah, nothing has the right to be worshipped in truth except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see this man glorifying a cow and so on and so forth, and deifying a cow. How do you not hate that? Of course you hate that. How absurd is this? This man is deifying a cow, this other man is eating steak and burgers and subhanallah. You understand? So bila shak, no doubt, this man is deifying something that don't deserve to be deified. And this will enter into what? The last condition, a disbelief for everything that is worshipped other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ala kulli hal, the person who loves Tawheed, then bila shak, you're going to hate shirk, and you're going to hate the people of shirk, because they make it shirk. But it's something that is balanced. You understand what I'm saying? It's balanced. And this is the way of the Muslim. He's balanced. He's not like the people who are astray and the people who are not correct. It's balanced. Meaning that what? The Kafir, yeah, we have hatred for him because he's a Kafir. And he's on shirk. And he's on polytheism. So we have hatred for him. Or we have hatred for her. But as soon as now let's say, a Kafir walking by the Masjid, doing his Kafir stuff, we hate him. Kafir girl come by doing the Kafir stuff, we hate her. They go up around the corner, come back, and say they want to enter Islam. They take the Shahada. Now, we love them. Why? Because our hatred, like our love, is not based upon them as individuals. It's connected to their obedience and compliance unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when they walk by doing the Kaaba stuff, we hate them because why? They was upon other than Islam. But now they turn around and come back. Now we love them. Why? Because now they entered into the deen of Islam. They submitted themselves unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now we just not just going to keep hating them. No, they accepted Islam. Now we love you. Now we got religious love for you because you accepted Islam. Because you submit yourself unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is how it is. Why? Because our love is connected to what? Is connected to Allah. The more obedient they are to Allah, the more we love them. You understand? And this is something that is very important, especially for children. We love our children. We have natural love for them. No doubt. But at the same time, that's not going to cloud our judgment if they choose to do that which is displeasing unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we're not going to tolerate that just because you're a kid. You understand? So this whole sense that these kuffar they beat into the society of unconditional love, of tolerance, of entitlement, and so on and so forth. This is not from Islam. This is not from Islam. That makes sense? Right? But so we have to love La ilaha illallah. This is a must. If not, then it will not benefit us. وَأَتَى بِمَا that we hate those the kuffar, we hate those who go against La ilaha illallah. وَأَتَى بِمَا يُنَاقِضُهَا مِنَ الشِّرْكِ وَالْكُفْرِ, and we hate those who do those things which will negate and are contrary to La ilaha illallah, that will negate and nullify La ilaha illallah from shirk, from polytheism, and from kufr. We gotta have hatred for these things. وَمِمَّا يَدُلُّ عَلَى اشْتِرَاطِ الْمُحَبَّةِ, and from that which points to the condition, that it is a condition that we love La ilaha illallah, قوله تعالى is Allah, is قوله تعالى عز وجل is Allah's statement على الكفار المشركين, as Allah Ta'ala informs about the disbelievers and the polytheists. Allah Ta'ala says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَتَّخِذُ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ أَنْدَادًا, and from mankind there are those who take rivals with Allah. يُحِبُّونَهُمْ كَحُبِّ اللَّهِ, they love them like they love Allah. Meaning that what they're right, they love them like they love Allah. Allah Ta'ala says, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ, but those who believe, they love Allah more. They have a greater love for Allah. Meaning they love Allah more than they love everything else. We love Allah the most. Period. لأن محبة المؤمنين لله عز وجل محبة خالصة, because the love that the believers have for Allah is a love that is pure, unadulterated. وَأَمَّا مُحَبَّةُ الْمُشْرِكِينَ لِلَّهِ فَمُحَبَّةٌ سِوَى فِيهَا غَيْرُ اللَّهِ بِاللَّهِ. The love that the polytheists have for Allah is a love that is rivaled, is a love that they love others along with the same type of love that they have for Allah. Right? They love Allah and they love Jesus. They love Allah and they love Mary. They love Allah and they love Buddha. They love Allah and they love Confucius. They love Allah and they love, whatever, from the false deities. Right? And you even find some of them from the polytheists, they love these things more than they love Allah. Right? So of course, loving Allah in such a manner will not benefit. Will not benefit. Those who believe, they love Allah more, because they love Allah with a love that's unadulterated. وَلِهَذَا يَقُولُ يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ إِذَا أُدْخِلُوا النَّارِ, and for this fact, they will say on the day of judgment, when they, meaning the kuffar, are entered inside of the, when they are put into the fire, when they're put into the fire on the day of judgment, now, and this ayah can be found in Surah Shu'ara, in Surah Ash-Shu'ara, in its verse 97 and 98. Now it's verse 97 and 98. When they are put inside of the fire, they will say, Tallahi in kunna lafi dhalalin mubin. They will say, by Allah, we was in manifest error. By Allah, we were in manifest error. إِذْ نُسَوِّيكُمْ بِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ, when we held you false gods as equals in worship with the Lord of all that exists. Now, when we held you as equals in worship with the Lord of all that exists. So this is an indication that that they set up rivals and made them equals unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now when they're being plunged inside of the fire, now they regret it. Now they realize the grave error that they were in. But now it's too late. It's too late for them. Now it's too late for them. So this, bila shak wa bila rayb, is a motivating factor for us not to be like them, and to call those who are able to call to not to fall into what these individuals are going to fall into, and thus make this statement inside of the hellfire when they plunge inside of the hellfire, because they set up rivals with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now they set up rivals in worship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because they used to love things like they love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like here in this ayah. Na'am, like here in the ayah from Surah Al-Baqarah, in its verse 165. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يَتَّخِذُ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ أَنْدَادًا يُحِبُّونَهُمْ كَحُبِّ اللَّهِ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. And from mankind there are those who set up rivals with Allah. They love them like they love Allah. Whereas those who believe, they love Allah more. فلا إله إلا الله. Thus, لا إله إلا الله إنما تنفع عندما تكون نابعة عن محبة الله عز وجل. So, لا إله إلا الله, it is something that benefits when it emanates, it springs, and its origin is from loving Allah Azza wa Jal. Na'am. When a person truly loves Allah Azza wa Jal, then bila shak bila rayb is going to worship Allah and Allah alone. Right? A person loves Allah. No, undoubtedly, he's not going to turn around and utilize those bounties that Allah has given him to worship other than Allah. No, he's going to use those bounties to worship Allah because he loves Allah. وَمُحَبَّةً لهذه الكلمة العظيمة, and you have to love this tremendous kalima. وَمُحَبَّةً لما دلت عليه, and he has to love that which it points to. He has to love this kalima, and he has to love that which it points to. من التوحيد الله, from the unification of worship for Allah and Allah alone. وإخلاص الدين له, and from making all of the religion sincerely unto Allah Azza wa Jal. Now I really want you to pay attention to this. You understand? Our motivating factor, and what we do and don't do and so on and so forth should be to please Allah and to stay away from that which is displeasing unto Allah Azza wa Jal. This should be our motivating factor. We live in a time where there are a lot of influences. There are a lot of outside influences. You find people doing things for other people. You understand? You find people doing things for other people, avoiding things because of other people, because they're scared of what this one going to say, or they seeking after the praise from this one, and so on and so forth. Now, it is incumbent that we strive to free ourselves from the like of these things. That we strive to free ourselves from the like of these things. That we do what is correct in the best and most appropriate manner, giving the situation, seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is our concern. To do that which is correct in the most appropriate manner given the situation. To say the right statement in the most appropriate statement given the situation. Right? As long as we strive to do that which is correct and most appropriate given the situation, seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is our main concern. After that, رَضِيَ مَنْ رَضِيَ كَرِهَ مَنْ كَرِهَ. After that, whoever like it, whoever hate it. We don't care. We try to do what was right. We try to say what was right in the best proper way, most finest of ways, and so on and so forth. That's our concern. After that, whoever like it, whoever hate it, we ain't concerned about that. Because what? Because what we're shooting after is Allah's pleasure, not the pleasure of human beings. What we're shooting after, or what we're running away from, is Allah's displeasure, not what displeases human beings. So if we do something that's pleasing unto Allah and it causes a person to be displeased by it, oh well. If we do something, or if we stay away from something that Allah is displeased with, and that causes others to become upset with us, oh well. We're not really, that's not our motivation. Our motivation is that we're striving to do that which Allah loves and that which Allah Ta'ala is pleased with. That's our motivation. So this is something that is very important, right? Because how many times do people do things that's false, and they know it's false, they know it's wrong, they go along with it anyway. They'll support lies. They'll support oppression. They'll support slander. They'll support all type of things that are haram. Why? Because they're scared of this particular individual, or what that individual may say, or even what's more absurd, they're scared that somebody may talk about them on social media, and so on and so forth. Oh man, somebody made a bad tweet about you. So what? What'd that do? Really, what does it do? Does it hurt you in reality? No. If a person lied, they slander you, does that hurt you? No, actually it doesn't. Because they're going to pay you back on the day where there's no money. They're going to pay you back on the day where the commodity is going to be in deeds, or the exchange is going to be in deeds. So if you take something from me today, you oppress me, no problem, I get it back tomorrow when I really need it. So did they really hurt you in reality? No. So why are you worried about it for? You understand what I'm saying? These people decide they don't want to talk to you. They're going to ostracize you because you didn't support their falsehood. Alhamdulillah, I didn't need to be friends with you people anyway. If that's what y'all about, thank you for cutting me off. I don't need to be around y'all sort anyway, because y'all bad company. You understand what I'm saying? It is incumbent and it is a must that we stick to the truth. That we stick to the truth. It is a must, even if people reject us. As Imam Awza'i used to say, عَلَيْكَ بِأَثَارِ مَنْ سَلَفْ وَإِنْ رَفَضَكَ النَّاسِ. It is upon you to stick to the narrations of the Salaf, of those who came before, the pious predecessors, the Salaf. He said what? Even if the people reject you. Because you may get rejected. It's very probable you're going to get rejected. Because you try to stick to the truth and the people around you is not about that. Okay, fine, no problem. I get rejected. Be patient upon the harms of that rejection. It's fine. Because in reality, those harms are nothing. In reality, those harms are nothing, and they're temporary, they don't last forever, and then that's that. Allah Ta'ala will reward you for being patient upon the truth. Right? Challenge yourselves. That's all I'm saying. Challenge yourselves, check yourselves, assess yourselves, reassess yourselves, and then do it all over again. To make sure that your intentions are sincerely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To make sure that you're seeking after the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, listen, I don't want anyone to get me wrong or to misunderstand what I'm saying. That don't mean that, you won't have on your mind making a Muslim happy, for example, right? A person could treat their spouse in a kind manner, in a way that is pleasing unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they know that this thing will make their spouse happy. That's good. Why? Because that's a good deed. Allah is pleased with that. Allah will reward you for it. And that's what we're looking for, Allah's reward. So it's okay to do things because you know a person is going to love it, but what is your motivating factor? What is that which motivates you to do it is you're seeking Allah's pleasure. And if they become pleased on the process, that's a good thing too. That's good upon good. And now Allah's going to reward you for making a Muslim happy. Allah's going to reward you for making a Muslim happy. You understand what I'm saying? Allah Ta'ala rewarded that prostitute from Bani Israel from what? For giving a dog something to drink. Giving a dog something to drink. That made the dog happy, right? That was good for the dog. It benefited the dog. So if the believers, even a believer like this who had a great deal of sin, was given a tremendous reward for doing good to a dog, then how much more so an individual who does not have this level of sin, and then they're doing something that is of benefit to a Muslim, right? And the like. You understand? Of course, Yanni. So again, I want we're balanced. I don't want anyone to I'm just doing it for Allah. I don't care what you like, whatever. No. I mean, you got to do things in a proper manner. You try to do things that don't rub nobody the wrong way. But at the end of the day, if they mad because you praying Dhuhr and they don't want you to pray Dhuhr, then that's their business. You're not worried about that. I didn't try to disrespect you. I didn't rude to you. I didn't pray in your way or nothing like that. You mad because I went and I did my thing on the side and you want to be mad about that? Then that's your business. I'm not going to worry about that. Right? And the like. That makes sense? Makes sense. Thank you. So we have to love the deen. We have to be sincere unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to love the people of La ilaha illallah wa amaliha. We have to love the actions that are connected to La ilaha illallah. We have to. And we should make dua, then Allah makes us of those who love that which He loves, and that Allah Ta'ala loves us, and that those who love Allah love us. That's what we should want, right? But all of that is gained and earned by doing that which Allah loves and that which Allah is pleased with, by establishing a tawheed. As there comes a dua, a tremendous dua, al-ma'thur an al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that is narrated or that is taught to us by the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And this hadith has been collected in the Musnad of Imam Ahmad, also in the Sunan of Imam al-Tirmidhi, on the authority of Mu'adh radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And it's a narration that Imam al-Albani, he graded it as being authentic, sahih. This dua is tremendous. It says, the Prophet ﷺ used to say, وَأَسْأَلُكَ حُبَّكَ وَحُبَّ مَنْ يُحِبُّكَ وَحُبَّ عَمَلٍ يُقَرِّبُنِي إِلَى حُبِّكَ. That I ask for your love. Ask Allah for His love, that Allah loves us. But this is the most important thing. وَحُبَّ مَنْ يُحِبُّكَ, and for the love of those who love you, meaning the love of those who love Allah. Na'am. And to love the actions that will draw me near to your love, that we love the righteous good deeds. This is a tremendous dua, tremendous dua. Those who have the ability, I would seriously encourage them to memorize this dua, because the affair of loving for Allah and hating for Allah, this is from the strongest hallmarks of faith, from the strongest hallmarks of faith, and it will only be actualized by those who establish and actualize the tawheed, those who establish the tawheed. Na'am. With the hadith Anas, in a tremendous hadith about the sweetness of the faith, with the hadith in Anas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال ثلاث من كن فيه وجد بهن حلاوة الإيمان. That there are three characteristics that whoever has them within him or her, then they will attain the sweetness of faith. Then they will attain the sweetness of faith. Now check this out. Listen to the characteristics. من كان الله ورسوله أحب إليه مما سواهما. That Allah and His Messenger are more beloved to than other than them two. مما سواهما. That they are more beloved than other than them. Meaning Allah, that Allah, a person loves Allah more than he loves everything. And then he loves the Prophet ﷺ more than he loves any other created being. Now, this is a characteristic that a person has it. Is one of the characteristics needed to attain the sweetness of faith. The second, وَأَنْ يُحِبَّ الْمَرْءَ لَا يُحِبُّهُ إِلَّا لِلَّهِ. And that he loves a person, and he only loves that person for Allah. That he loves the individual and he don't love him for anything except Allah. Na'am. Really, this hadith itself, it could be lectures upon lectures, right? Because of the benefit for what that are contained therein. But just think about that. That you love a person for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Think of the beauty of that relationship. That you love each other for Allah. Because that's a type of relationship that you're going to encourage one another to do good. You're going to want to see good for each other in their deen and in their dunya. You're going to want to see prosperity for each other, right? Because the good Muslim is the one who loves for his brother what he loves for himself, right? So you're going to want your brother to have prosperity. You're going to help him to attain prosperity. You're going to want to see him upon good. You're going to want to remind him to do good. You're going to want to stop him from doing the evil. You're going to help him do good and then stop him from doing wrong. Remind him when he forget, so on and so forth. This is the type of friend we all need. This is the kind of relationship we need. So now imagine the husband and wife dealing with each other like that. You see? They dealing with each other like that. SubhanAllah, this is the beauty of it is just, it's amazing. Just contemplate the beauty of this and how sweet the life will be. وأن يكره أن يعود في الكفر بعد أن أنقذه الله منه كما يكره أن يقذف في النار. And that they hate to return to disbelief after Allah has saved them from it, just like they hate to be thrown inside of a fire. Now, they hate to return to disbelief. They don't want that lifestyle. They don't want their culture, their mores. They don't want their habits. They don't want nothing to do with that stuff. They don't want their beliefs and their creed. No, they don't want their mentality. They don't want none of that stuff. You understand? Especially, check it out, right? Those of us who have accepted Islam. And of course, the statement runs true for every Muslim in the world. Allah has blessed us and guided us to accept Islam. Now, did we really accept Islam to act like kuffar? Right? I mean, really. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided us to Islam. We will never test it with kufr. Are we going to take this ni'mah that Allah ta'ala has given us and now want to chase after kufr in the way of the kuffar? Yeah, I mean, anyway. The Shaykh, he mentions, he says, Umurun thalatha, he said these three affairs, you find in them aslun, wa tafri'un, wa nafyun, lil mudad. He said you have three things in this. You have the origin, you have that which springs and emanates from it, and you have a negation of its opposite. Right? The origin as relates to all of this is what? Is the love of Allah. That's the origin. The love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because we only love the Prophet ﷺ more than every other created thing, because we love the Prophet ﷺ for the sake of Allah. And due to his obedience unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what's the origin? Our love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now what emanates from that love? Mahabba ma yuhibbuhu Allah, is that we love that which Allah loves. Is that we love that which Allah loves. So when we love an individual and we only love that individual for the sake of Allah, it's because that individual is doing the things that Allah loves. Right? That makes sense? And that's what emanates from it. That's the tafri'. What emanates from it. وَنَفْيُ الْمُضَادِ and negation of the opposite. and يَكْرَهَا and يَعُودَ فِي الْكُفْرِ بَعْدَ إِذْ أَنْقَذَهُ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ مِنْهُ كَمَا يَكْرَهُ أَنْ يُقْذَفَ فِي النَّارِ. Is that, and the hatred of the opposite, is that they hate to return to kufr. And of course, at the head of the kufr is what is shirk. They hate shirk. They hate all polytheism and all those things that are linked to polytheism. And they hate, and they are free from what? From the polytheist. They hate to return to kufr after Allah has saved them from it, just like they hate to be thrown inside of a fire. So it's a negation of what? Of the opposite, that they hate kufr. And hence you have what? A love that negates hatred. You see, a love that negates the opposite. And again, there's so much more that can be spoken about love and the proper Islamic love and the effects of the proper love upon the life of the believer. Many lectures could be held on this, but just some food for thought. When a person hears just, because we only scratch the surface, right? We only scratch the surface talking about love. When a person hears the scratching of the surface as relates to love, then they realize that when the Christians and the kuffar speak about their concept of love and so on and so forth, that they have no idea as to what they are talking about. They are totally clueless. All they know is the word. But the true concepts of it, its reality and its effects upon human beings and how it is properly implemented and so on and so forth, they have no clue. And this is something, once it's realized, that should increase our love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He guided us to know this is a tremendous blessing. This should make us love Allah more. This should make us love Allah more. This should increase the love that we have in our hearts for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that should translate into us striving to be more obedient unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to strive to be more clinging and more diligent in our following of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This should strive us to do that which is good and to stay away from that which is wrong, that which is evil. There is so much more that could be said, and already I said so much more than I had anticipating on saying, because I, in my lesson plan, really thought we were going to finish the conditions tonight. But قدر الله وما شاء فعل, قدر الله وما شاء فعل, that did not happen. So, without going into the other conditions and the sixth condition and then the rest, so that it is not longer than what it has already been, and I apologize for the length. Please forgive me for the length. نكتفي بهذا القدر، وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين، وجزاكم الله خيرا.